Hello there, so today I'm going to be reviewing, as I've been promising for about 4 months now, this album, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, Oasis' fourth album from the year 2000. So yeah, we'll get into the background of it. So, throughout 1997 and 1998, Oasis have been on their Be Here Now tour. This was the biggest tour in support of the biggest album, Be Here Now. And they were touring as the biggest band in the world, and it came to its end on the 25th of March 1998, which coincidentally is one day before I was born. I was born the next day. But their tour came to an end in Mexico City. After this, Oasis took a year off. It was the first time since they got famous in 1994 that they'd had a significant amount of time off. So during this period, Noel was suffering from writer's block, which is something Paul Weller has also suffered from. Now, Weller had told Noel that if it goes away, don't chase it, just let it come back. If you chase it, it'll never come back. So Noel didn't chase it, but he was kind of forcing himself to write songs, which is what a lot of the songs were in this period, just forced pieces of work. Despite this, Oasis regrouped in April 1999, a year and a month after the conclusion of the Be Here Now tour, to begin work on a new album. For this album, Noel ditched the old equipment that they'd used on the first three albums in place for some weird pedals, old guitars and small amps, as he said, in his words. The reason for this was an attempt to try and achieve a new sound. They didn't have a deadline for this album, therefore Noel could spend more time experimenting with these new instruments and sounds. However, Owen Morris, who had produced Definitely Maybe, Morning Glory and Be Here Now, did not return this time. Instead, Mike Stent acted as producer alongside Noel. The pair of them co-produced the whole album. Also around this period, Alan McGee, who had discovered Oasis in Glasgow in 1993, I think it was, decided to leave Creation Records, and he sold his 51% stake to Sony. This was during the sessions for this album. So Noel took this opportunity to set up Big Brother Recordings. This would be a company that would distribute the records that Oasis made in the UK. However, internationally, the Sony-owned Epic Records would distribute them. These days, Big Brother Recordings is still the distributor of re-releases of Oasis records, and they are the company that runs the Oasis social media accounts. As the sessions progressed, the band took a big hit. Both Bonehead and Gwigsy, who had been with the band since the very beginning, quit, which put the band's future into question. So Noel and Liam decided to hold a press conference, and they confirmed to the world that Oasis would indeed be carrying on. Noel also made quite a famous comment, I think to Rolling Stone magazine it was, that it's hardly, when talking about Bonehead, that it was hardly Paul McCartney quitting the Beatles, which is a true statement. It wasn't. So, with those two gone, and Alan White staying, he did decide to stay, Noel and Liam decided to keep going, with Alan White playing drums on the record. So Noel had to play all the guitar parts, and for legal reasons, Bonehead and Gwigsy's work on this album had to be redone. So Noel had to do lead rhythm and bass guitar. And Liam, I believe, even played, I think, maybe a little bit of guitar on this album. It was the first one where he did. Anyway, despite these setbacks, the album was finished in late August 1999. So the artwork for Standing on the Shoulder of Giants is the Manhattan skyline over a period of 18 hours. So the way this worked was the photo was taken from the rooftop of 500 Fifth Avenue in New York. So the photographer took the photos, I think it was every few hours, over the space of 18 hours, capturing the New York skyline throughout the day. Once he had all the images, he then digitally compressed them all together, giving us the final picture, which was basically a dawn to dusk photograph. It can only be really properly seen on the vinyl version where you can fully open the album. These days, on the digital versions, you can only get half of the image, unfortunately. So the artwork features a number of Manhattan landmarks, including the Empire State Building and the then World Trade Center, which of course, unfortunately, got blown up a year later. Although rather coincidentally, at the time when promoting this album, Liam was in New York, and he quite famously now made a little comment, which at the time was just a joke, discussing the artwork of the album, saying he's going to blow it all up.
The cover of the album, New York skyline.
Yeah, I thought I'd pay you respects and that before I blow you up and that, yeah.
As for the name of the album, this of course comes from a quote from Sir Isaac Newton, which can be found on the side of a £2 coin. So £2 coins became a new thing in about 1998, with the quote on the side which Noel noticed and really liked, saying "standing on the shoulders of giants." So Noel wrote this down on the side of a cigarette packet, but he was drunk at the time and he misspelt shoulders and missed the S off the end. Therefore the album got the name "Standing on the Shoulder of Giants," with the S missing. So although it's commonly referred to as "Standing on the Shoulders of Giants," it's not actually that, so it's not really the quote, it's a misspelling of the quote, shall we say. So although the three of them had successfully recorded this album, they clearly couldn't tour as a three-piece. So they needed to get new members into the band. So pretty quickly Bonehead's replacement was found and Noel asked Gem Archer to join the band. Noel had known Gem for quite a lot of years by this point, because both Oasis and Gem's old band Heavy Stereo had been signed to Creation Records. So Gem joined the band. However, they struggled to find a new bassist to replace Guigsy. The idea was they would want to be back to a full five-piece in time for the Go Let It Out video shoot, so that they could debut the new lineup to the world in this video. However, they failed to get a bassist in time, therefore they had to go into it as a four-piece. So Gem went on to his actual official role of electric guitar in the video, but Liam had to play acoustic guitar and Noel had to play bass. So, after 2 years of nothing really from Oasis, they released their lead single off their new album, Go Let It Out, on the 7th of February 2000.
Ain't no illusion, try to click with what you got. Taste every potion, cause if you like yourself a lot, go let it out, go let it in, and go let it out.
This would be a #1 single for the band, and its B-sides would be Let's All Make Believe and As Long As They've Got Cigarettes in Hell. Noel has since said he thinks this is the closest they ever got to sounding like the Beatles. It does kind of have some Strawberry Fields vibes in this song with the keyboard work. So following on from the release of the lead single from this album came the album itself on the 28th of February 2000. Upon its release it hit #1 and based on first week sales is still the 16th fastest selling album in history. The album however received mixed reviews from critics. Its psychedelic vibes were not particularly well received by some people, and the departure from Britpop alienated some fans at the time. However, around about the release of the album, Andy Bell got the bassist job. Andy had been the guitarist in the band Ride, but Ride had recently split up, so Andy joined this band. But he couldn't play bass, which was a bit of a problem, so he had to learn bass. And alongside learning bass, he had to learn to play this whole new album and Oasis' back catalogue in time for a world tour, which would commence on the 29th of February 2000 in Japan. So, whilst the tour was ongoing, the second single from the album, Who Feels Love, was released on the 17th of April 2000.
Thank you for the sun, the one that shines on everyone who feels love. Now there's a million years between my fantasies and fears. I feel love.
This single peaked at #4 and its B-sides were One Way Road and Helter Skelter, which of course is a Beatles cover. Who Feels Love is arguably Oasis' most psychedelic song, and definitely got those Indian vibes with sitar sounding noises on it. So, whilst the tour was once again continuing, the final single from the album, Sunday Morning Call, would come out on the 3rd of July 2000, which these days Noel has a lot of nice words to say about this song.
Oh, this is shite. Remember that guy in the video being Scottish? Don't know why I feel that's important to tell you that, but there you go.
Slip your shoes on and then out you crawl into a day that couldn't give you more. But what for?
song, similarly to Who Feels Love, peaked at number 4, and its B-sides are Carry Us All and Full On. So with this single out, the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants period continued through the remainder of the tour, and then after that it came to an end, where Oasis would disappear again for a little bit, but not for long this time. So there you go, let's have a look at the track by track review bit now, the old fashioned way. So it opens with an instrumental piece called Fucking in the Bushes. This is a really good opening track, this, and I really do love the riff on this song. It's possibly their best opening track since Rock and Roll Star, for me personally. I know, do you know what I mean's a good song, but I really like this song. And Oasis, after this album came out, every gig they did, they walked out to this one, and to this day Liam himself still walks out on stage to this song. But yeah, it's a really good way to open the album. After that we got Go Let It Out, which was the lead single off the album. I love this song, it is a fantastic Oasis song. They didn't do it live all that often. They did it on the Shoulder of Giants tour and Heath and Chemistry tour, but they never did it after that. I've seen Noel do it live. I don't mind Noel singing this song actually, but yeah, it was decent enough, Noel doing it. But Liam is the better one at singing this, I'm not going to kid myself. And yeah, I really do like this song. Possibly the best song on the album, if I'm honest, or maybe joint best. Who Feels Love is next. This is the most psychedelic sounding thing in the album. It was them breaking away from their traditional typical sounding sound, if that makes sense. It's got kind of Eastern musical sounds on this. Yeah, it's a really nice song, this, and I think it's a bit underrated, to be honest. They only did it live on the tour to support this album, Shoulder of Giants tour. And yeah, it's... Ooh, I hit myself in the face. Yeah, it's a really nice song. After that we've got Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of this song, if I'm honest. I don't listen to it all that often. I mean, I don't hate it, but it's just nothing special to me personally. I mean, Liam sings it well. I like the bit where Noel comes in as well, doing his backing vocals. I think Noel does backing vocals. Am I thinking of another song? I'm thinking of another song. But yeah, Liam sings this one really well. So then after that we've got Little James. So this is a significant song for Oasis because it's the first time on an Oasis album when Noel hasn't written the song. This one is written by Liam, and it's his first ever song. So I know a lot of people hate on this song, and I can understand why. Personally, I just can't understand why this went on this album. Personally, if I'd been Noel personally, and Liam, I'd have made this song the B-side to Go Let It Out, and Let's All Make Believe, which is the B-side to Go Let It Out, should have gone in this song's place, because it is, you know, that's the way I think it should have gone personally. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't hate the song, it's quite nice. It's a good way of winding up my brother called James, who's called James, because he was actually born around the time this album came out, around about the time this song was recorded. So yeah, I refer to him as Little James to wind him up. But yeah, it's a nice little song. It's not the worst song Oasis have ever done, but yeah, I just think it'd have been better as a B-side. Then we've got Gas Panic. This is one underrated song. The lyrics on this are some of Noel's best. So I believe this is about when Noel gave up drugs. And he was quite paranoid and stuff about his family, didn't seem too familiar to him and stuff. It's a really good song. Liam sings it brilliantly. I can't believe they didn't do it live that often. They did it on the tour to support this album, and that was it. You know, Liam was, Liam, Oasis were going to do it. Sorry, camera died. As it seems to do a lot now these days in these videos. So as I was saying, Gas Panic. It was sound checked a few times during the Dig Out Your Soul tour, the last tour. I imagine because it was in sound checks it'd have been Noel singing it, because I don't think Liam went to sound checks. But yeah, it's a shame that it's not been done since. It'd be nice to see Liam put it into his solo sets, but I doubt he ever will. But it's a really underrated song, this. Possibly the best on the album. A long ago, Let It Out, I'd say. After that we got Where Did It All Go Wrong. This is the Noel vocals of the album, or the first of two Noel vocals on the album. Again, it's probably reflective of Noel at the time, and what had happened with Oasis, because they were kind of on a downward spiral here after the success of Be Here Now. Be Here Now had been the biggest success for Oasis, but it had also kind of killed them off a bit in terms of like being the biggest band in the world, because a lot of people were left a bit underwhelmed by the album. So that's what this song's kind of reflecting on. But something I'm going to say here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll edit the actual video I'm about to talk about into the video, this review at this point now.
Know that feeling you get when you feel you're older than time. You ain't exactly sure if you've been away a while. Do you keep the receipts for the friends that you buy? And ain't it bittersweet? You're only just getting by.
So that's a live version from Jules Holland in, I think it was 2000, which is effectively similar to what his songs Noel has done since, like Dead in the Water, of his recent album Who Built the Moon. That's Noel on acoustic, Gems on electric guitar, and Mikey Roy's on piano. And I much prefer that version to this version on the album. I think it works really well as a stripped back acoustic song. But yeah, I love this song, and I wish Noel would do it live again. After that, we've got Sunday Morning Call. As you heard earlier on, Noel absolutely hates this song. It's his least favourite song he's ever done. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. Again, there's an acoustic version of this that is really good. I'm going to edit that in right into this video right now.
Here's another Sunday morning call. You hear your head up banging on the door. Slip your shoes on and then out you crawl into a day that couldn't give you more. What for? And in your hand, do you feel what you're not supposed to?
So yeah, again, I actually prefer that version to the version on this album. But I really don't mind this song. I know Noel hates it, but I don't know why. I really don't understand why he doesn't like it. Other than it's maybe not got happy memories associated with it for him. But yeah, I really don't mind this song. I do like it. I'd give it probably 8 out of 10. After that, I've got I Can See a Liar. This is a rocker, this song. Liam sings it very well. This is the one I was on about before with Noel's backing vocals. I really like them on this. But I'm not the biggest fan in the world of the song, to be honest. I mean, it's alright, but it's not special. Though the vocals are very good, but the song itself, it's not too special. And then the album closes with Roll It Over, which is a fantastic closing track, actually. I was listening to this earlier today, and I forgot how good this song was. So obviously Liam sings it, but quite uniquely about this album, the demos for it, they're pretty easy to find on YouTube. And they don't sound too dissimilar to the final things, actually. But it's no demo in the album, and he's singing lead vocals on all the songs, so it's quite interesting to hear. And he sings this one really well, actually. Not as well as what Liam does, but yeah, it's still nice to hear. But it's a nice way to close the album. I do really like Roll It Over. And yeah. So overall, this album, it gets slagged off a lot. A lot of people say it's Oasis's worst album, which I've never agreed with. I'd say Heath and Chemistry is the worst. I'd say this one is the second worst. Well, no, it's not even second worst, because it's not a bad album. It's just not as good as the other ones. They've done 7 albums, this one was 6th. But it's not a bad album, neither is Heath and Chemistry. But, yeah, the artwork is really good. I love the artwork for this album. But yeah, I'd give this album a solid 8 out of 10, to be honest. Yeah, it's really good. So thank you very much for watching. That's all the Oasis Mark II albums done, which means we've got the 90s album still to do, since for some reason I've done them backwards. Although, the problem I have now is, because I'm doing the reviews this new way with a bit to start, the other three, Heath and Chemistry, Don't Believe the Truth and Dig Out Your Soul, are the old way, so I'm debating whether to redo them or not. But anyway, Be Here Now will be next, so I'll see you hopefully a bit sooner than it took me to make this one. Then, cheerio.